Hey everyone, I've had some requests to do a chair Pilates class. Not a Pilates chair class, not the one-to chair, but using just a folding chair. So that's what we'll be doing today. We have a mat underneath the chair. You don't necessarily need that if you have a carpeted floor. I just have it for the first portion here where we'll be lying down. So lie down on your back, legs up on the chair. Now my legs are long, so I'm going to have my feet underneath the back of the chair. And you can have that as well or not, doesn't matter either way. And then just sort of settle into the mat. Make sure you feel comfy and like you're in a good position. And take several big deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Now, as you're breathing here, I want you to make sure that your front ribs are knit together slightly and that your back bottom ribs are pressing gently down towards the floor. And that's going to help you keep your front abs engaged slightly, even maybe 10 or 20% on the inhale. So inhaling into the low back, exhaling, squeezing those abdominal muscles. 2 more big deep breaths. And last one. Now inhale, float the arms to the ceiling for puppet arms, alternating lifting one higher than the other to lubricate the shoulders and get those shoulder blades unstuck from the rib cage. And soften those elbows, fingertips come towards each other for hug the tree, opening the arms as wide as you can. I can't open my left arm very wide, so I'm matching my right arm with it, even though my right arm is capable of opening all the way to the floor. Inhale and exhale. Two more. Last one. And then arms come up and palms face the legs. We're going to do some head roll-ups. So inhale to prepare, and then exhale, lift the head and chest, hands lower towards your hips, and then inhale, return down. Exhale up, inhale to lower. Make sure when you're lifting, you're not tucking your tail, that your tailbone stays heavy on the mat. 3 more. And head comes down, hands come down to the mat. Now we're going to do some pelvic tucking. So I'm keeping my calves heavy on the chair, and I'm just pressing the small of my back down to the floor, tucking my tail and letting my tailbone and buns lift off slightly. I'm not yet lifting up very high. I'm just warming up my low abs and low back, squeezing pelvic floor muscles. And now we're going to go into more of a pelvic lift. So this time, tuck the tail, press into your calves and lift your hips up, and then roll the body down. It's just lifting a little higher than you did before. Inhale on the way up, and exhale on the way down. 2 more times. And rolling the hips down. Now we're going to bend the knees and place the feet against the back edge of the frame of the chair. So you don't have to have your feet against here if you feel like your chair isn't stable enough and that you may push it over. Then you can always bring your heels more closer to the center of the chair. I just like the bottoms of my feet resting on the back of the chair, so that's what I'm doing. Now tuck the tail and curl the hips up higher into a bridge and roll the body down. And again, tuck, peel, and lift up into your bridge, soften behind the heart, and sequentially roll down. 2 more like this. Squeezing those pelvic floor muscles so that your hamstrings don't take the load of you. And down. This time we're going to stay up, keep the hips lifted, and I want you to rotate the pelvis. So if your hip bones are headlights, they're going to shine to the right side and the left side. The knees don't sway too much. And then come to center and roll the body down. That really works those hamstrings, but it's also really good for your low back. Now we're going to curl back up, and this time pretend your hips are on a skateboard, and you're going to shift your hips to the right and to the left. So just slide your butt right and left without letting your knees move too much. And 1 more to each side, feeling those hamstrings. Center yourself and roll down. And you can straighten those legs overhead to give your hamstrings a little stretch. We've got 1 more thing. And this time I'm going to have my heels wide on the seat of the chair, but not necessarily against the back of the chair. I'm a little long, so they're pretty far back, but I don't have to be touching this time. So we're going to curl the hips up and keeping those feet flexed, heels pressing in. You're going to close your knees and open your knees. Close and open. Press into those arms so that they help you. 3 and 2 and 1, and then the knees come to neutral and the body rolls down. And then hug your knees in and rock side to side. And then we're going to come all the way up to sitting to straddle the chair. So feet will straddle, hands on the seat of the chair. Grow really tall through the crown of your head. And then you're going to tip your chin, look down. Feet are flexed, by the way. And roll the head and chest forward, sliding your hands across the bottom of the chair or the seat of the chair. Belly is drawing backwards as your torso is leaning forward. Now you may be able to go really far. I can't because of this arm. If I take this arm down, I can keep going. And then rounding up. But I'm just going to keep my hands up here and go as far as I can. Scoop, curl, and reach. And lift tall. What you want to do is have the sense that there's a belt around your waist and someone is pulling the belt back from behind you as you're going forward. 2 more. Exhale. And inhale. Last one. Exhale. And inhale, grow tall. Now I want you to take your right hand and slide it towards your right ankle or foot. Reach the other hand back behind you. It can be in the air. I can't do that, so mine's staying on the ground. And make sure that your right sit bone is staying on the floor as you do this twisted stretch. And then we're going to do this twisted stretch to the other side. Make sure not to lean off of your left sitting bone. Make sure it stays on the ground. Good. And then release. We're going to lie back down for just a bit for some ab work. So this time, I actually am going to scoot back just a little bit so that my legs are a little bit longer and not kicking the back of the chair per se. And if you are kicking the back, that's okay too. So first, we're going to do the hundreds. So we're resting our legs on the chair. Now you have a choice to have the back of your legs touch the chair, or you could hold them off when we come up here. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, curl the head and chest up, arms reaching by your side. And then bounce those arms up and down. Inhale for 5 and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And lower the head. Now, go ahead and bring those hands down. Bring your legs up into a chair position. Take an inhale. As you exhale, curl your head and chest up. Extend your left leg, then your right leg, and just switch, reaching your toes towards the back of the chair. Inhale and exhale. Now, if you feel that this is too easy and your legs are kicking too high, you can always move your chair back or yourself back away from the chair and kick lower. If your neck is tired, put one hand behind your head or rest your head on the floor. 2 and 1. Hug your knees in, rest your head down. Double leg stretch is next. So I'm going to be kicking, for sake of not moving the camera and the chair and such, I'm going to be kicking above the chair, which is probably a little bit too easy for me. So if it is too easy for you, move your chair back and you can kick out below your chair. So from here, curl your head and chest up. Hands are going to go by your sides or behind the head, and you're going to extend both legs and bend both legs. Now again, you could kick above the chair like I am, or move your chair backwards and kick below the chair. Inhale and exhale for 2 more. Last one. Bend those knees in, rest your head down. And just rock your knees side to side. We have one more thing here before we come back up. So you have a choice to keep your head curled up on this one. I'm going to actually instead keep my head down but stick my hands under my tail. Now kick your legs out over your chair, open them and reach them down, and then lift them up and close, circling or tracing over the chair, up and over and back together. Now you don't have to lower your legs all the way to the floor, but you can if that's okay with your hip flexors. Inhale and exhale for 3 and 2 and 1. Close the legs, rest your feet down. And then we're going to come back up to, this time, a kneeling position. So you're going to kneel with your forearms on the chair and toes tucked under, as though you're going to stand up on your knees, because you are going to be picking your kneecaps up off the floor. So we're going to lift the knees and lower gently. This is another good reason to have a mat under you, so it's a little bit cushioned when you're on your knees. And again, up and down, up and down. Use that breath. Make sure you have a soft landing every time. Let's do one more. And down. Now we're going to do some step outs. So you're going to pick your kneecaps up off of the floor, and then you're going to step your right foot out, left foot out, right foot in, left foot in, left foot out, right foot out, left foot in, right foot in, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right. One more each leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And soften your knees down. Those are really hard for me, mostly because of this shoulder having to support the weight of me for that split second is challenging. So next, we're going to do elephant into plank position. So what I would like you to do is come to a standing position, hands on the chair, so on the seat of the chair, and then walk your feet back into an elephant position. So that is where your feet are in Pilates V, and you're shifting your bottom backwards over your heels. Now you can see, because of this frozen shoulder, I can't go back far unless I take my arm down, and then I can go back really far. So if you can go back this far with both hands on the chair, by all means, do it. It's kind of like downward dog or elephant. I can only go back so far, and then you're going to shift your weight forward on your tippy toes, shoulders over hands into a plank position. Squeeze your butt. And then again, hinge back into elephant. As far back as you can. Don't look at me. Go by what your body will do. And then forward and back and forward and elephant and plank and elephant. One more time, plank. We're going to hold this one and just hold. Squeeze your butt. Breathe deeply. Shoulders away from the ears and neck is long. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And push back and stretch. I'm going to take one hand down so I can stretch really far. And curl up the spine. Clasp those hands behind you. Open up your chest and stretch. Excellent. So now, with your hands either on the chair, on the seat of the chair, or on the back of the chair, I'm going to put mine on the seat. We're going to do some leg lifts. So feet in a very narrow Pilates V, hands down on the seat if you want them there. If you prefer to be higher, put them up higher, maybe even turn your chair around. And then you're going to lengthen your right leg, toes on the floor behind you. And without changing anything in your spine or pelvis, squeeze your butt and pick your leg up and down. Don't change. Make sure, I should say, that your hip bones face straight down. You're not tilting. We will get to that one. But for right now, you're just lifting and lowering that right leg. Make sure your back muscles feel strong so that you're not dumping all of your weight into your wrists. Now, one more, and we're going to hold this leg up, bend the knee, footprint is flat on the ceiling, and kick up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knee next to your other knee. So your right leg is bent and your knees are next to each other. And we open this right leg to the side like a dog at a fire hydrant. Lift that leg. 4, 5, 6, and usually it's the standing leg that gets tired. 7, and 1 more. And when the knee comes down, put the foot down. And then we're going to extend the other leg, toes on the floor behind you. Remember to reset your spine if you're losing your posture. And then pick this leg up and down, squeezing your glute and hamstring. Soft elbows, make sure you don't hyperextend there. On the next one, we're going to keep the leg lifted, bend the knee, footprint goes to the ceiling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee comes down next to your other knee, and you're going to lift this leg out to the side for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, belly's drawn in, 3, spine is long, 2, and 1, and then foot comes down to the floor. Now I want you to extend your right leg out in the air behind you, and we're going to rotate the pelvis this time. So hold this leg up high in line with your glute, and then rotate your pelvis. Now if you want to, you could come up or put one hand, right hand on the back of the chair, left hand down, or both hands on the back. I just can't with this. I can't have both up there with the arm. It'll elevate my torso too much. So I'm rotating my pelvis on top of my femur bone, but I'm trying to keep my leg high. I don't want my foot to drop when I turn. I want it to stay lifted. Again, foot in line with my glute. And 2, and 1. And then foot comes down, and we do the other side. So I'm putting my right hand on the bottom seat of the chair, my left hand kind of on the back side. Extend that left leg out in the air as high as my butt is, and rotate my pelvis to face the side of the room. So it goes to the side and then down, to the side and down. And my right femur bone is staying still, and I'm moving my pelvis over this bone, thigh bone. I don't even know how many that is, but this one actually feels good to me. And last one, and then foot comes down, and then reach to your toes and stretch. And curl up the spine. Now we're going to turn the chair around so the back of the chair is towards us. And I'm going to stand to face you and do some circles. So this left leg, the leg away from the chair, is going to go forward and around. Now, I would say you could put your left hand on your hip or hold it out in front of you or even out to the side. I'm going to hold it in front of me because that's the most comfortable position for this shoulder. And yet it's also working it a little bit. So you kind of have to flex the foot as it's passing through next to the other foot. And I'm trying not to like move my body all around. I'm trying to stay upright and just move this leg. Keep that tall ballerina posture. When the feet come together, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lift out of that right hip. 7 and 8. And then feet come together. Good. Now bring this chair over to the other side. You're really just holding this for balance. So if you don't need the chair, leave the chair where it is. Arm is up. You can put it any which way, right? On your hip, open, forward. Since I had the other one forward, I'll do this one as well. Toes come forward and they sweep around and pass through. I stay really tall and lifted, and I'm trying not to move anything else but this leg. One more, and then when the feet meet, reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. All right, so now place your chair so it's in the center of your mat and you can have a seat on it with the feet wide. So we're going to do some stretches here. First thing you're going to do is feet are wide on the floor. I'm on the chair, I'm most of the way back, but not so far back that I'm kind of stuck back there, if that makes sense. Right hand is going to grab the bottom of the chair, that's sort of underneath my left thigh. Now, if you can, raise your left arm up. I cannot, so I'm going to hang it down and just side bend, hanging off the side of the chair. Again, your left arm would be overhead if you have that ability. Mine's a little worn out from all the physical therapy I've been doing to it. So, and rise up, and again, bend over and stretch. Should be a nice stretch for the side of your waist, and lift. One more time like this, and lifting up, and then put your left hand underneath the right leg, holding onto the bottom of the chair, right arm up and overhead, and 3 times we bend as far over as we can, keeping the right sit bone on the chair, and up. So nice being able to lift this arm overhead, get a much better stretch, and lift. Good. Now we're going to turn to the right so that my right outer thigh is towards the back of this chair. And then I sit even on my sit bones. Make sure you're not arching your back, sitting forward. Sit on top of them. Grow really tall. And then take your hands to the back of your chair and twist. Have this sort of push-pull action. So I'm twisted to the right. My left hand is pulling, and my right hand is pushing on the back of the chair. I'm looking as far back as I can and giving myself a tall, lifted twist. Breathe in and out. Keep your spine turned to the back, but have your head look over your front shoulder for just a breath. And then when you look to the back, you may find that you can turn even further to the back. And then you're going to unwind. Your left hand is going to go to the back of your chair, your right arm up, and we're going to just do one side bend hanging off the back of the chair. So make sure your butt is well applied to it, and just pull off and hang off the back of the chair, bending over, breathing deeply, and lifting up. And we'll do that on the other side. So spin around. Grow tall, reach your hands for the back of the chair, pull with your right hand, push with your left, look as far back as you can, and twist and stretch. Make sure you're not slouching, that you're growing tall. Look over your front shoulder for just a breath. And then look to the back and see if you can twist further. And then unwind, looking straight ahead of you. Right hand goes to the back of the chair, left arm overhead if your body allows that, and then hang off the back of the chair and reach over and stretch. And breathe. I'm just going to put my arm down and hang. And then rise up. Now we're going to sit to face the back of the chair. I'm actually going to make my chair go sideways, so hopefully you can understand better what I'm wanting. So I'm turning my chair sideways. You just have to turn around. You might not have to turn your chair. And I'm sitting to face the back of it, straddling the back of the chair for an extension, since we really haven't done any extension in this class. So go ahead and hold the back of the chair, feet are out to the sides, lift your heart to the ceiling, and start to back bend slightly. Don't go so far that you tip the chair, of course, but back bend as far as feels safe to you. I have really long arms, so I'd probably topple over if I straightened my arms too far, or at least it feels like it would. And then lift yourself up. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift the heart to the sky, extend back slightly. Exhale forward. 1 more time. And return. And now I'm going to turn my chair one more time, and we're going to finish with a piriformis stretch. So I'm going to sit to face you, sitting on this chair. I'm going to take my right ankle over my left thigh and grow tall. I keep this foot flexed to protect my knee and hinge forward and stretch this right outer hip. I don't dump forward or curl my spine. I'm leaning my chest forward. It's kind of sticking my butt out a little bit. And breathe. Feels nice after doing some of those leg exercises. And rise up, and we'll finish on the other side. Grow tall, again, flexed foot to protect your knee. Pull yourself forward. I'm going to turn so you can see my back is nice and straight. I'm not curled. Yeah? Sort of leaning my chest towards my leg or my belly towards my legs. Couple more big deep breaths. One more. And come out of the stretch. Sit to face forward again on that chair, feet wide. We're going to bend forward to the floor, reaching the hands down, and nod the head yes and no a few times. I'm telling you beforehand because this microphone is right near my where I will be talking, so I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to come down and nod my head yes and no. And then you're going to tuck your tail, scoop the belly, and slowly curl up, bone by bone. Inhale those arms up and overhead, and exhale them down. And you did it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this workout. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps my channel out. Have a good day.